Defying the odds in a male-dominated industry, a female tech entrepreneur leads the conversation on the future of artificial intelligence in Zambia.
Revitalizing the water supply in Niger State, Hyperdeck begins rehabilitation of the Bussa Waterworks.
With the African penguin facing extinction, environmental groups take action against the South African government to help save the species.
Hello and thanks for tuning into the show that goes around the continent to bring you stories near and far. I'm Joke Rogers at Channels Television here in Lagos, and I'm joined by Vincent McCory from the Voice of America in Washington, D.C.
Well, thanks. I'm Vincent McCory at the Voice of America. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with the latest from Nigeria. Joke Rogers in Lagos brings you that story.
The Bussa Water Rehabilitation Project in Niger State, north-central Nigeria, is a critical initiative aimed at revitalizing the water supply system in the region. The project, undertaken by Hyperdeck, seeks to restore the functionality of the Bussa Waterworks, which has been in a state of disrepair for years. This effort will ensure a reliable and sustainable water supply to the local communities.
The new Bussa Waterworks rehabilitation project began in 2023 as an intervention by the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, Hyperdeck. For over 30 years, the facility, managed by the government of Niger State, has not run a drop of water to homes within the new Bussa community, which ironically houses Kanji Dam, Nigeria's largest hydroelectric dam. Now that it's been restored, it's supposed to help with sustainable water management and improve public health in the community. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, is represented by the Minister of State, Agric and Food Security, Sahabi Abdullahi, to commission the project.
The improved water supply will boost public health and reduce the incidences of waterborne diseases.
The water scheme is an investment of 2.1 billion naira, which, according to the Managing Director of Hyperdeck, demonstrates the federal government's dedication to the well-being of the people.
This water scheme is more than just a fiscal structure. It is an investment of 2,156 million naira, which symbolizes the federal government commitment to the well-being of this important town.
Visibly excited, the Emir of Bargu believes the restoration of the waterworks is a compensation to the sacrifice and support that the community has offered Nigeria's electricity power supply.
The people of Bargu sincerely commend Hyperdeck for partnering with the Niger State government to comprehensively reconstruct the new Bussa Waterworks.
The commissioning of the new Bussa Waterworks is described as a major milestone in the federal government's effort to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 6 and ensure that all communities have access to clean water and sanitation.
Joining us to discuss the rehabilitation of the Bussa Waterworks in Niger State is the Managing Director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Yalwa. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much.
The Bussa Water project had been abandoned for many years. What prompted Hyperdeck to undertake the rehabilitation?
I think the objective of setting the Hyperdeck Commission is to address the serious challenges faced by the hydroelectric power producing communities in Nigeria. And New Bussa is a critical component of that community. It's the community hosting the largest hydroelectricity project in Nigeria, that's Kanji Dam and the Kanji Hydroelectricity Program. As a result, the community was displaced from its original settlement by the creation of the dam, and that the state unfortunately also had caused to be moved to Niger State from Kwara. So while it was in Kwara State, there was a water project that was commissioned in 1983 by the then governor of Kwara. And since that commissioning, Even after the new Bussa became part of Niger State, the water project failed because of the increase in population and some challenges faced by the communities. It worked for only 10 years and stopped working as early as 1991-92. So when the commission came, we realized we had a needs assessment meeting with the community. And the emir and the members of the community suggested that their major concern is water, that their wives, their children, and even household owners have to travel far and wide, sometimes even to the river, to get water for cooking and daily use. So, and that if Hyperdeck can address that for them, it will be okay for them. And that we presented such requests to the governing council of the commission, and the governing council approved, and we went into effect. We conduct an assessment, and we found out the actual interventions required. And we liaised with the Niger State government because it is the owner of the project. It is its project. We are only going to support. And we got the concurrence of the Niger State government to go ahead with the project. And we not only got the concurrence, but it directed its Ministry of Water Resources and the Niger State Water and Sewage Agency to work with the commission in order to conduct the exercise. And that was how we were able to address it. It cost us about 2.1 billion naira to see the project to its position today.
Right, Mr. Yawa, could you now give us an update on the current status of this project, including any milestones achieved so far, seeing that it has been abandoned for a while?
The project is like a life-saving to the community. You can see all influential members of the community travel to New Bussa during the commissioning, when the Secretary to the Government of the Federation commissioned the project and the Niger State Governor. And not only the influential, even every household was at the commissioning in order to show their appreciation to the government, to the Tinubu administration, for making it possible to have drinking water for them. This is something they have lacked for over 30 years. So virtually, and we are monitoring, we are also happy with the community because it has set up a committee to monitor the performance of the facilities there and make sure that there is no problem. We are also addressing their water shortage problem in Yauri, and its project has reached about 85%. We are hoping that by the end of October or thereabout, it will also be commissioned.
Right, and a set of people that may also be happy about such a project are farmers. With this renewed hope agenda of the present administration and the fact that because of the harsh economic environments, agriculture now is being pushed to the forefront. Are there plans for the water plant and of course the Kenji Dam to also help out with irrigation farming for farmers in the area?
Yeah, I think the Niger State government is introducing aggressive measures to improve agriculture in Niger State. And the Commission has made its intention available to the government of Niger State that we are prepared to support the government to ensure that agriculture become a foremost occupation to the people of Niger State. So virtually those people living by the riverside will of course be will be given the necessary support for irrigation farming, and not only irrigation farming, for fish farming. We have tuned into the present government program for food security, and we are confident that we will reach the promised land.
Right. I've been speaking to the Managing Director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Yelwa, on Africa 54 today. He joined us from our Abuja studios. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. After the break, hope for orphans in Malawi. Meet the woman who started a foundation to give at-risk children a future. Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. In Malawi, according to the United Nations' most recent statistics, over 15% of children under the age of 18 are orphans due in part to the high prevalence of deaths from HIV and AIDS. Now a group called the Zoe Foundation is trying to give these at-risk children a future. Reporting from Ndodani village in Lilongwe, Malawi, Chimwemwe Padata has more.
This is the Zoe Foundation, a place where more than 100 orphans and other vulnerable children in Malawi's Ndodani village can find shelter. 28-year-old Temwani Chirenga founded the organization, named after her own daughter.
I started the foundation because of the problems that many homeless orphans were facing. We are providing education, food, shelter, spiritual help, different skills like farming, tailoring, carpentry, and some other things.
So the students have benefited indeed here because they weren't going to school before. They were lacking maybe school funds, so most of them were just street kids.
At first, I had nowhere to stay and no one looked after me. When I met my mom, Temwani Chirenga, my life greatly changed.
Child rights activists like Madalitso Jidumu Wanoi are supportive, but says there is a role for government as well.
But then the question of sustainability comes into play because it is the same government that should provide guidelines that will ensure that these interventions are sustainable.
Most orphanages in Malawi are private institutions that get government help to operate. The government says it holds the orphanages to a high standard of care.
Institutions who are caring for children should be able to recruit a skilled social worker who should be at that institution so that he can carry easily the duties that the ministry usually recommends for in providing care and protection to children.
Chirenga says he hopes to see more initiatives like hers focused on helping orphans in Malawi work towards a brighter future. Chimwemwe Padata, VOA News, Ndodani village in Lilongwe, Malawi.
A factory in Egypt is producing ice, but not in the conventional way. Using new eco-friendly technology, the facility is reducing thermal emissions, lowering the carbon footprint, and minimizing water waste.
A factory in Egypt is producing ice in an environmentally friendly way, thanks to its new technology, which, according to the founder and owner, is reducing thermal emissions, lowering the carbon footprint and minimizing water waste. According to Mustafa Al-Ashri of Al-Ashri Factory, the facility is the first in the world to use ice ashray technology.
We are pleased to establish this factory in Egypt as our first venture into the production of food-grade ice, and we are pleased to spread this technology worldwide.
The ice is produced by temperatures reaching -60 degrees Celsius, using materials designed to produce food-grade ice that is free of viruses. It's different from regular ice.
Regular ice has several manufacturing issues. Firstly, the water is not treated. Secondly, it is made in galvanized iron molds, which can transfer rust to fish and food products. Our factory's concept involves using molds that treat water from the beginning, ensuring it is 100% healthy. We use stainless steel molds and achieve very rapid cooling by producing the ice at -60 degrees Celsius. This quick freezing process prevents any viruses or bacteria from becoming active during the freezing process. Furthermore, its cooling capacity is 10 times greater than our regular ice molds.
Established in 1988, the factory aims to continue innovating and spreading their ideas globally.
It's time for a short break. As we do, we remind you to visit our website, channelstv.com, for news and programming around the clock. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. And still to come, another Egyptian project, this time to enhance beauty and environmental conservation. The Shagrha initiative plants trees in public spaces.
Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Vincent Makori in Washington. A female technology expert in Zambia is defying the odds in a male-dominated industry. Sarah Luyele Njuma, a technology entrepreneur, is leading the conversation on the future of artificial intelligence, automation, and information security. Kathy Short reports from Lusaka, Zambia.
This is Sarah Luyele Njamu. She is one of the few women experts on artificial intelligence in Zambia, working as Chief Executive Officer for the software company CompuConnect Education. Although the use of AI in the country is relatively new, she says access to finance remains a barrier preventing women from entering the technology sector.
For some reason, people don't seem to have much belief that women are able to do big things. So once you approach, institutions, lending institutions, they turn us down. But we are saying we've got the skills, we've got the talent, and we are able to scale as we've been able to expand in several countries.
Njamu is also the initiator and host of the Future of AI in Africa Global Summit. The summit brings together experts from various African countries to discuss African technological solutions and challenges.
By harnessing the power of AI, we can drive efficiency, scalability, and tailored solutions that speak to our specific needs as the people of the continent. AI must be seen as a tool of empowerment, capable of bridging divides and fostering an inclusive future where everybody is able to participate meaningfully.
A recent Microsoft report estimates that AI could inject $1.5 trillion into the African economy by 2030. However, as of 2022, only 30% of the workforce in AI consists of women, according to the World Economic Forum.
We want more girls to come into this space so that they can leverage themselves. But more than that, it's important for more women to be involved just so that we can bring a balanced perspective. As you know, bias is one of the big challenges that we face when it comes to the development of AI solutions.
The Zambia National Women's Lobby, a non-profit organization advocating for gender equality, is happy with Njamu's success.
I think it's interesting, actually, to have women at the apex of artificial intelligence. And I believe that apart from being a model of other women that are aspiring to be in that space, I think she occupies an influential position to ensure that some of the issues that are affecting gender equality are addressed.
Zambian officials like Felix Mutati, the Minister of Technology and Science, think that AI can have a positive impact. Speaking at the opening of the Future of AI Global Summit in Lusaka in June, he said such technology has an untapped potential.
When we harness AI, it is bound to change the shape of our industry in an unprecedented manner. It will drive innovation and entrepreneurship exponentially. And indeed, it will create new opportunities yet to be imagined.
Experts say many women are needed in artificial intelligence to contribute towards economic development in Africa. Kathy Short, VOA News, Lusaka, Zambia.
An Egyptian initiative aims to plant more trees along streets, public spaces as a way of conserving the environment. Shagrha, Arabic for plant it, is an environmental project to plant trees along streets, in schools, and in other public spaces, as well as on balconies and rooftops. The venture has an objective of spreading awareness and bringing societal change to tackle climate change.
In a public school in Egypt's Dakalia Governorate, volunteers work with great passion to plant over 500 trees. This planting is part of a bigger initiative called Shagrha, Arabic for planted.
Thank God, since 2016 till now, in nearly 8 years, we have planted more than 350,000 fruitful trees in 17 governorates in Egypt and in more than 150 public schools and universities. Thank God, we're here today in Mitgam City, planting around 500 fruitful and wood trees in 4 public schools.
More than 10,000 balconies and rooftops have also been planted with vegetables, medicinal plants, and fruit trees. Planted focuses on fruitful trees which have economic value as well as societal and environmental benefits. With hundreds of schools and institutions that join the program, the idea is to plant 1 million trees by 2030.
Experts warn that the African penguin could be extinct in the wild by 2035. That's why 2 environmental groups are taking legal action against the South African government to help save the species. Reporter Vicky Stark in Cape Town, South Africa, has the story.
The African penguin is the only penguin that lives and breeds exclusively in Africa. Sadly, this tuxedoed bird could be extinct in a decade. The latest census, done last year, reveals less than 10,000 breeding pairs left in the wild. Most of these, just over 8,300, are in South Africa, down from just over 27,100 in 2008. To stop the decline, the Southern African Foundation for the Conservation of Coastal Birds, or SANCCOB, and fellow conservation group BirdLife South Africa, represented by the Biodiversity Law Centre, are waging a legal battle to get wider, more meaningful fishing restrictions.
African penguins are specialist feeders, so they feed on sardine and anchovy, but it also means that they're in direct competition with the per se fishing industry.
In August last year, former Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Barbara Creasy, announced that 6 no-take fishing zones officially introduced at the main penguin breeding colonies in 2022 would remain in place until 2033. These extend to an almost 12.5-mile radius, which scientists have found to be beneficial, particularly during breeding. However, SANCCOB says an international panel of experts appointed by the minister 2 years ago recommended an additional measure of mapping out where the penguins find their food so that these areas can also be protected. In response to VOA's request for comment on the court case, the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment spokesperson, Peter Mbelengwa, said that the matter is ongoing and is set to be heard at the North Gauteng High Court in October. Meanwhile, as the wheels of justice turn, SANCCOB is fundraising to expand the chick rearing unit at its centre in Tableview, Cape Town. It currently takes in around 400 abandoned eggs and up to 600 abandoned chicks each year. Reasons for parents leaving include food shortages or extreme weather conditions like heat waves or flooding.
The new chick rearing unit will allow us to accept more eggs from the colonies because it just provides us with more space to hold more group up incubators so that we can hatch more eggs.
They need $14,000 to finish building the new unit, where chicks like these will receive the best care and eventually be released back into the wild. Vicky Stark, VOA News, Cape Town, South Africa.
Well, and that's our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Check it out. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Channels Television has our last word.
We look forward to bringing you another show next week. To remember that channelstv.com is your source for news and other programming. I'm Joka Rogers. Thanks for watching and goodbye.